Welcome to Spare Parts Brewing. This is Sam, and I'm here to talk to you about my latest brew, which is Tepache. Now, Tepache is a Mexican drink that's made primarily out of the rind and core of a pineapple. Here at Spare Parts Brewing, I try and do everything as cheaply and environmentally as possible. The two things often overlap, which in this case, using the part of a fruit that you do not eat is right up my alley. You'll also notice that I am indeed brewing in a used kitty litter bucket. It's been thoroughly washed and cleaned, but this bucket is made out of HDPE, high density polyurethane, high density poly whatever it is. Number 2, recycling, and it is just about infinitely recyclable and infinitely reusable. It doesn't accept, or it doesn't pick up much flavor or anything like that. So this is really a great bucket to be using for a smaller project like this where I don't have 5 gallons. Now, the Tepache, as I said, is a cut up rind and core of a pineapple. I've also tossed in a lime and a cinnamon stick and a clove. Now, I've never made this before, but this was a recipe I found that I think is going to be, what I'm hoping is going to be a good one. In addition to all that, inside here there is 5 liters of water and 500 grams of dark sugar. I am using Red Star Premium Blanc yeast. This is better known as champagne yeast. It's a very fast working yeast that will completely dry this out. You know, it'll consume all available sugars, which may not be ideal for this project, but I have a lot of this yeast just kind of hanging around. I bought like a 12 pack for $4 or something. So I'm choosing to use it up. Now, you can see that I do not have an airlock on this. I have found that airlocks by and large are not necessary if you're not leaving this in the bucket for an extended time. I will be moving it to a secondary fermentation, which will let it kind of clarify and finish up, and that'll be in a glass jug. Now, I'm opening this up to give it a spin, to give it a stir, for a couple reasons. First off, of course, I want to make sure that the sugar is entirely gobbled up by the yeast and that everything is fermenting correctly. But I also want to make sure that there's not too much exposure of any bacteria that might have been on the pineapple or the lime to oxygen, which means trying to keep it submerged. I can also check for mold growth or anything else while I'm in here. Now, this is a very acidic environment for anything to grow in. Most bacteria cannot grow in highly acidic environments. The pineapple and the lime will make sure of that. And of course, speaking of acids, I'm using Star San. I'm going to Star San, kind of spray it everywhere. This is a sanitizer, food safe. The yeast can actually eat the acids in it, supposedly. Now, this stuff is supposed to wait a minute, but I've already sprayed it before the video started. Just spraying it again now for no reason whatsoever. And we can see as this gets stirred up, it is bubbling. There is active fermentation going on, and as I said, as long as there's active fermentation going on, the CO2 is mostly going to push any sort of oxygen out. Now, I'm going to let this, I started this about 2-3 days ago. I'm going to let this sit for a week total, and after that it will be put into, as I said, a jug for secondary fermentation. Just a 1 gallon glass jug, probably this one here. After which it will sit for another week somewhere cool, and that will help things kind of settle out and make a clearer, more drinkable beverage. And after that, we'll see how it tastes. It might need to be diluted. Apparently, this tends to be a low alcohol drink that is diluted. We'll see if basically how it tastes when it's all said and done to see if I need to do that. So that is it. Spare Parts Brewing presenting you Tepache. and I will be doing another video with my next step when we get there.